Hey, welcome to another episode here on Get Inspired with Unique. My name is Unique. That is my legal name if you're curious. And today is Wednesday, August 23rd. The year is 2023 and the time is 4:48 p.m. And I want today's podcast episode to be a little short, so I'm going to try to not ramble too long or go on too many tangents. But I do feel like I have something important I wanted to talk about today. So, yeah, let's get straight into it. The concept for this episode is going to touch on knowing yourself well and how knowing yourself and knowing who you are is a superpower. So I don't really know how I want to title that in this podcast, but I'll figure it out by the time you all are listening to this. But I've been having quite a few conversations with some people when I'm working, and it was just on my heart to talk about this. And I don't really have my thoughts written out as far as how I want to guide this podcast. So I am going to wing it, but I feel like it should be okay. It should be able to flow with no issue. So I'll just start right off and say, when you know yourself well and you know who you are able to avoid a lot of unnecessary mistakes in your life. And the key word there is unnecessary. I say that because mistakes are not always bad, depending on what they are in life. But let's say the mistakes that I am referring to are the good kind of mistakes, the mistakes that don't really, bring harm to humanity or affect someone's livelihood. So let's say that the mistakes that I am talking about are not in those negative categories, but mistakes nonetheless. There are some mistakes that we all make in life that help us grow and help us evolve and help us learn about ourselves and help us become a better version of ourselves. But if there was a way we could avoid some of those mistakes and allow us to get to our end goals of life faster, that would be amazing. And I feel like a lot of mistakes we make in our lives come from not knowing who we are. And I guess a good example of what I mean by that is not taking the time to live your life and figure out what you want to do in this lifetime, because we all have a limited amount of time to be on this planet Earth or wherever planet we're going to be living on. I'm being funny when I say that, but you know how they're talking about Elon Musk is trying to get everybody to live on another planet, or all this other stuff that they've been talking about with having advanced technology that's going to allow people to leave Earth and whatever. At least I was hearing about that like a year or two ago. So I was being funny when I brought that up. But yeah, we don't have much time on planet Earth to experience life and do what it is we want to do. And some people might say, well, Unique, I'm not able to go out here and live my dream because I have a legacy that I have to continue for my mother or my father or my family. And my mom and my dad, they want me to be this and they want me to be that. Or I was told that I won't be successful trying to pursue a career in doing this or pursue a career in doing that. So I understand all of those objections or those, obstacles or disagreements. And you're right when you say that. You're definitely right. If you feel like you have those pressures against you to do something that was told to you, and this isn't something that you yourself wanted to do, but you feel like the consequences of not stepping into the footsteps of, the adults in your life are going to be bigger than the positive consequences of doing what you want to do, then I understand that. Everyone's life is different. However, what I'm trying to say in this podcast is when you take the time to discover your passions, discover your skills, discover your talents, discover your dreams, and figure out how you want to make a difference in this world, when you take the time to do all of those things, your life will have a lot more fulfillment to you. And that would mean that you'd have to be selfish when I say that. You would have to say, I don't care about what my family member wants me to do with my life. I want to make sure that I live my life and do what I want to do. You would have to be willing to say something like that or do something like that. You would have to be willing to have the courage to tell the adults in your life that, I want to live my life. And that's not wrong to be able to do that, because to be fair, the people who have been living on this earth longer than you or longer than us, they had a chance to live their life. They had a chance to make their mistakes. They had a chance to see what they enjoyed and what they didn't enjoy. So now it's our turn. Now it's your turn. You should not be robbed of an opportunity to march to the beat of your own drum. And everything, needs to be done within reason. Don't just go out and make reckless decisions because you think you want to do something and then you realize you don't want to do it. And what I mean by making a reckless decision, I mean stepping into something without, at least doing research on what it is that you're doing. In this day and age, we have tablets, we have cell phones, laptops, computers. The internet is in a whole different realm of advancement compared to how it was 15 plus years ago. Social media has grown the biggest legs you can think of and has just ran across humanity and ran across society. And, it's taken everything by storm. Everything that you want to find out information on is available to you at the click of a button. With a few taps and a few swipes of your finger, everything that you're looking for is already available for you to just research and find. So all you need to do is just take the time to research whatever it is you want to do with your life and talk to people who are doing the things you want to do, because you might learn some tips or some tricks on how to avoid certain mistakes or certain pitfalls that someone else made. And you might be able to quickly find out if this path you want to take is something you really want to do. So doing that will allow you to not, make a mistake or waste your time or anything like that. And because you would be taking the time to do this research, it will allow you to know more about yourself on a deeper level, because you can put yourself in the shoes of what that person is doing based on their experience, based on what they shared with you. And you could either say, hey, I want to try that, but I want to do it a little better. I want to do it a little different. Or you can just be like, I don't want to do that at all. Let me try something else. And that's the beauty of life. There are so many different avenues of success and dreams and goals and accomplishments we can take to have the success we want in our life. But you have to take the time to learn yourself and discover yourself and, just find your place in this world. Because personally, from my experience in life, I've noticed a lot of people who are a lot older than me, like twice my age, if not older, making the decision to go back to school or choose a new career path or just walk in a different direction in their life because they realized later on down the road of their life that they don't want to do whatever it was they thought they wanted to do. As you get older, your dreams change and your ambitions change. You learn more about yourself and you evolve and you end up wanting to do something different with your life. And you're allowed to make those decisions. You are allowed to do something different. You don't have to feel like the career path I'm choosing today has to define me for the rest of my life. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. However, if you want to have a shortcut to that self-discovery and quickly align with your ambitions and your dreams and your goals and your life purpose, it is super important to know who you are. And that's why I said that is a superpower in itself, because too many people either don't know who they are or they made the decision to suppress trying to figure out who they are because they felt they needed to walk in someone else's footsteps or abandon their dreams and their goals because there were more pressing matters at hand in their life. So everyone's life is different and we all have free will and we can choose to do whatever it is we want to do with our lives. But at the end of the day, while you're in the position in your life to be able to do this, I would encourage you to make efforts and strides to know more about yourself. Put yourself in different positions and opportunities in life. If you want to work a temporary job, do that. If you want to volunteer to do whatever type of volunteer experience, do it. If you want to shadow someone doing a specific role or a job that you think you'd be great at and you feel like it aligns with what you want to do for the rest of your life, go for it. Don't ever let anyone rob you of the chance to learn more about who you are. Because like someone once said to me when I was still in high school and college and education and knowledge doesn't stop just because you finish high school or finish college. Education does not stop at a university. It doesn't stop once you get that diploma or that degree or whatever certification you achieved. There is always infinite levels of knowledge in this world. And if you choose to push for it and to evolve and to continue to learn as much as you can, all of that is going to bring you several steps closer to knowing more about who you are and building that superpower of self-awareness and that self-knowledge. So I hope all of this made sense in this podcast. I really wanted to make sure I inspired someone with this message. And yeah, again, it's been on my heart to say this for quite a while now. And I actually wrote this concept down for this podcast on Sunday, August 13th. That's when I wrote this down. I was probably having a very deep conversation with someone while I was working. And, when you have deep conversations with someone, it can inspire you to have some motivational words for the next person who decides to listen. So, yeah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment down below if you are listening to this on YouTube. You can also send a comment or a voice memo in to me on Spotify if you're listening to this on Spotify. I don't think you're able to interact with the podcast on Google or Apple. So, yeah, just use those first two options that I mentioned to interact with me. And I will definitely get back to any of you who choose to respond and let me know how you felt about this podcast. With that, I'm out. Take care. Hope to see you on the next podcast. Thanks for listening.